Hello everyone, how are you all?
Fine, sir.
And I'm good. Thanks for asking. And all clear till yesterday. All clear till yesterday. Whatever we have discussed, inheritance, method overloading, overriding, polymorphism, time complexity basics. Today we will take more examples on time complexity. Okay. Yes, we will take more example today. Today's class is dedicated for time complexity. Only 13 students. Shall I start? Yeah, we will go through time complexity once again. But only 13 students. I can start, but majority people will be missing majority part. That's a problem. This is the problem I face every day, that all of you will be living in doubts.
Or actually, we can utilize this time to solve some doubt, right? If we have.
Yeah, okay. Who is having doubt? Tell me what doubt you are having. You can ask right now.
Sir, actually, about the MCQ, the question, the time complexity will calculate in which, what is that? Not in seconds, right?
No, not.
Is there any unit for that
Yeah,
particular?
just a minute. Okay. Yeah, Tintu, tell me what happened.
Yeah, actually, the time complexity will be measured in not in seconds, right?
Not in seconds. Yeah. Unit for that is number of operations. Number of operations.
Number of operations, right?
Yeah.
But when I just searched in internet, we are having some more terms. Maybe that we are discussing today, right?
We will be discussing majority part of time complexity today. Okay.
Today.
All of you just be focused. That's all I will say.
Okay. Yes.
Let's wait a few more minutes because yeah, only 15 students. But I don't know. Means if I start, then majority of you will be facing problems.
हेलो सर
Yeah, बोलो. Any doubt?
सर वो कल का जो आपको कोड बताया ना उसमें आपने एक डाउट क्लियर किए थे तो उसमें एक और डाउट है
बोलो दिखाओ. Show your screen.
सर आपने डिसेबल की
Okay, fine. Just wait. Yeah, दिखाओ.
हाँ सर जैसे अभी मैं एक कोड रन कर रहा हूँ ना तो जैसे अभी मैं सीधा टीचर पे आया टीचर का एक अकाउंट बनाया A123 और वापस लॉग इन भी करता हूँ उससे यहाँ पे बराबर है अभी मैं इधर लॉग आउट कर रहा हूँ और जैसे एडमिन से लॉग इन करने जाऊंगा ना ये और एडमिन का मैंने पासवर्ड फिक्स कर रखा हूँ तो सर ये एरर आ रहा था लिस्ट इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ रेंज
अच्छा
ये
लिस्ट के अंदर जितने
मतलब ये एरर क्या दे रहा है मालूम सर जहाँ पे मैं टीचर का लॉगिन और जीमेल पासवर्ड चेक कर रहा हूँ ना ये उधर एरर दे रहा है एडमिन में आके इधर ये वाली लाइन में
अरे तुम i+1 वहां पे क्यों यूज कर रहे हो
सर i+1 सर ये i+1 मतलब पहले ये आई में जीमेल निकालेगा उसके आगे मैंने पासवर्ड स्टोर किया हूँ तो i+1 जो आगे वाला रहेगा ना उससे पासवर्ड कंपेयर करेगा
अच्छा मतलब कंटिन्यूअस पहले
लिस्ट में ऐड करते रहो मैंने जीमेल पासवर्ड
पहले क्या ऐड करोगे लिस्ट में दो करके ऐड कर रहे हो
पहले आईडी ऐड किया हूँ सर इधर
ठीक है
मैंने प्रिंट पहले आईडी प्रिंट किया हूँ फिर जीमेल प्रिंट किया हूँ फिर पासवर्ड प्रिंट किया हूँ तो पहले जीमेल फाइंड कर रहा हूँ इंडेक्स के थ्रू और उससे जीमेल चेक करेगा और एक इंडेक्स बढ़ा के फिर पासवर्ड चेक करेगा
ओके इफ सेल्फ अच्छा यहाँ पे देखो लेंथ +1 किया है ना ये तो इंडेक्सिंग के बाहर जा रहा है
सर वो
लेंथ
उसके लिए
लेंथ प्लस
लूप
1 से
के लिए
नहीं हो
लगाया।
सकता। नहीं नहीं, लेंथ प्लस 1 लिस्ट का तो फिक्स्ड लेंथ है ना, इंडेक्स तो उसका फिक्स्ड है,
Okay.
उसके बाहर कैसे
तो
जा
लेंथ
सकते हो?
+1 हटा दो ना फिर।
बिल्कुल हाँ, इसको थोड़ा और रेक्टिफाई करो, यहाँ पे लॉजिकली तुम थोड़ा गलत हो इस लूप में। इसको रेक्टिफाई करने का आज ट्राई करो, नहीं हुआ तो फिर कल देखते हैं, ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
कभी भी इंडेक्स के बाद और 1, ओके या फाइन, ठीक है। ओके, so yeah, I think it's almost 23 and yeah, we should start with time complexity. Fine, let's start. Just let me set up everything for you first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, fine. We'll begin. Most of today, most of our part will be in board only, and yeah, very less we will be taking on less or almost nil in VS Code. That's all. Okay. Fine. Okay. Screen is visible to everyone. Screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
All of you can see my screen. My voice is coming clear.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Good, sir.
Okay. Pay attention here today. What I said yesterday is the unit for measuring time required to execute a code. Okay, this is what number of operations we do inside the code. Okay, what we said, what is the unit to measure time required to execute our code? Okay, number of operations we are doing inside our code. Okay, so see here, we do some operations like plus, minus, division, multiplication, right? Fine, we call function, we call a function such as show, okay, or we push and pop from a list. Okay, okay, let's not take this as of now, the push and pop. We call a function, again we calculate some expressions, okay, like a plus b minus c into d divided by e, some, okay, all of these things, all of these operations, all of these calculative operations, okay, you are making some calculations calling the functions. Okay, all these things can be performed by our computer in just one shot or in just one operation. Calculating expressions, that is doing the maths, plus, minus, division, multiplication, okay, calling a function, okay, all these things can be done by our computer in just one operation. All of you are clear here? In just one operation, I can perform any mathematics I want to, okay, including comparing. I can, okay, yeah, let's come here. I want to compare two values, okay, whether they are greater, equal to each other, or lesser than each other, okay. All these things combined can be done in just one operation by our computer. Okay, comparison, mathematics operation, okay, calling function, all these things can be done by our computer in how much? And doing any kind of maths we require, or taking input, okay, taking input, as well as printing anything, correct? All these things require exactly, okay, all these things require one operation by our computer to be performed. If our computer just requires one operation to perform all these things. Can you remember? This is the basic standard of whatever PC we use on day-to-day basis. Is it clear here? Tell me first. Is it clear here at this point? All of you, please have some response, else I cannot understand. Yes, Aminul, tell me.
Sir, please repeat again, sir. Once
Okay,
again.
what I said, how we will calculate the time complexity. How we will calculate the time complexity? By number of operations we perform in our code. कैसे करेंगे? प्रेजेंट कोड में कितना ऑपरेशंस कर रहे हैं वो देखेंगे, ठीक है। अब एक बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड है कंप्यूटर का, एक बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड है, क्या कहता है, हम जो यूज करते हैं ना कंप्यूटर्स डे टू डे बेसिस पे, ये जो लॉजिकल ऑपरेशंस है, whatever logical operations we perform, the comparison operations like equal to, greater than equal to, lesser than equal to, all the mathematics we perform, the calling, function calling, taking input, taking out, printing the output, doing any kind of maths, all these things require exactly one operation. Okay, all these things require exactly one operation. How much by the computer? Exactly one operation. Clear is it? Yes, tell me, Junaid. Junaid, tell me. Okay, let me give you an example. Yeah, Junaid, tell me.
हेलो सर।
Yeah.
सर सबको मिला के एक ऑपरेशन बनेगा या इंडिविजुअली सब एक एक ऑपरेशन है?
इंडिविजुअल भी करो, हाँ, सबको इंडिविजुअली एक एक ऑपरेशन बनेगा। पूरा मैथ्स कर रहे हैं तो भी ऑलमोस्ट एक ही ऑपरेशन लगता है, या फिर सिंपली एक कर रहा हूँ, सिर्फ एडिशन कर रहा हूँ, सिर्फ मल्टीप्लिकेशन कर रहा हूँ, बोला कुछ भी मैथ्स करते हो ना, कोई भी फॉर्मूला लगाते हो, मैथ्स करते हो, उसके लिए एग्जैक्टली वन ऑपरेशन लगता है कंप्यूटर को। ये जो कंपैरिजन करते हैं, हर एक कंपैरिजन का सिंगल लगता है, ऑलमोस्ट एक ही ऑपरेशन में कंप्यूटर काम कर देता है। इनपुट लेना, प्रिंट करना, सब कुछ कंप्यूटर ऑलमोस्ट एक ही ऑपरेशन में कर देता है। ओके, ये बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड।
इनपुट लेंगे तो एक ऑपरेशन, फिर प्रिंट करेंगे तो सेकंड ऑपरेशन,
दोनों को मिलाओगे तो दो ऑपरेशन हो रहा है, उसको भी कंप्यूटर इंटरप्रेट करेगा एज इफ एक ही ऑपरेशन हो रहा है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि उसको ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता एक या दो ऑपरेशन करने में, ठीक है।
हेलो सर।
या बोलो
सर, मतलब VS कोड में एक एग्जांपल देके बोलेंगे क्या सर?
इसको, चलो मैं एक एग्जांपल यही लिखता हूँ, ठीक है। लेट मी गिव यू एन एग्जांपल हियर। ओके, हाउ वी विल राइट अ कोड, लेट्स से a equal to 1, b equal to 2, okay, print a plus b, ठीक है। So yeah, assigning value to A. A is a variable, declared it, assigned it a value 1. This requires one operation. Declared a variable B and assigned it a value 2. This requires one operation. Now printed A plus B. Okay, this A plus B. Calculation of A plus B requires how much? One operation. And printing requires one operation. So how many operations overall we have done? 4, right? Getting it? Declared a variable A, assigned it a value 1. This requires how much operation? 1. Declared a variable B, assigned it a value 2. How much operation is required? 1. Now print A plus B. Print A plus B. What's happening? A plus B will be evaluated first. First value of A plus B will be calculated and that will be printed. Okay.
ओके
Now
सर
what-
और सर यहाँ पे प्रिंट और a प्लस b ये यहाँ पे 2 ऑपरेशन है ना सर?
हाँ, यहाँ पे 2 ऑपरेशन है. Now see how many operation total we have performed? 4, right? Now B go. Okay, fine. 4 operations we have performed. All of you. Yeah, okay. This is not related to VS Code at all. This is for any general code you write. No matter in VS Code or any other IDE you perform your code. Your number of operation standards will be same. Okay. Tick. Now see. All of you can understand how we are calculating the number of operations. What's the basics that's coming? समझ में आ रहा है अमीनुल? क्या हो रहा है?
हाँ.
Okay, fine. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now see, our computers can perform at most 10 to the power 8 operations in a second. How much? At most. Maximum 10 to the power 8 operations in 1 second. What is the maximum limit? What is the maximum limit? In 1 second, at most 10 to the power 8 operations our computers can perform. Not more than that. Okay. Now, in general, whenever you will be sitting for your placements and exams, you will write a code for a question. Not more than 1 second you will get. Not more than 1 second you will get to run your code. Okay. For your placement, what will happen? You will write a code, but the limit to execute your code will be just 1 second. So from now, whatever code we will be writing, we will be keeping into the mind that it should not have more than 10 to the power 8 operations in it. Understood this part? Understood this part, all of you? From now, what we will do? Try to code in such a way that we will not do more than 10 to the power 8 operations in our code, or our code does not take more than 1 second to execute. This is what our plan will be from now. Not all operation, number of operations should not exceed 10 to the power 8 range. Getting it? Total number of operations done by our code should not be greater than 10 to the power 8. It can be lesser, no problem, but it should not be greater than 10 to the power 8. $100 लाइन्स लिखो, 200 लाइन्स लिखो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ठीक है. मैटर है जितने भी लाइन है उसमें क्या होगा? 10 to the power 8 ऑपरेशन से ज्यादा तुम परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहे. ये क्या है? स्पेसिफिक है टू डीएसए, स्पेसिफिक टू डीएसए. If you So if what will happen, suppose you have written a code, okay, and this has more than 10 to the power 8 operations to be done. So what will happen? Allotted time to you is only 1 second. Only 1 second is allotted to you for executing your code. Your code is taking more than 1 second. Why? Because it is having more than 10 to the power 8 operations. What will happen? Your code will keep on running, and since the time has been exceeded, the system, wherever you are executing it, will give a kill command. Will that, okay, whatever the process is going on, kill that, and you will be receiving something called time limit exceeded. That's what we will calculate now. Length of the code is not necessary. How will you calculate the number of operations you are doing? That is necessary. All of you will learn these things in our upcoming classes. How to calculate the means number of operations in our code. Okay. Yes, okay. Solution is, how can we design our solution in such a way that it doesn't exceed our time limit. Designing the solution is what the solution is. Okay. Understood this part clearly? All of you. All of you, is it? Coming for a complex program. Okay.
हाँ मैं डाल में दिच्छी हाथे এটা করতে দে তাই आदमी को बर्बाद कर दिया हम लोग आगे नहीं डाल
Yes, Aminul, tell me.
हाँ सर, ये आपने बोला कि ये जो कोड 10 टू दी पावर 8 मतलब ये है मैक्सिमम, मतलब यहाँ तक ही ऑपरेशन मतलब प्रिंट होगा, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होगा ना?
नहीं, मैक्सिमम लिमिट इतना ही,
मैक्सिमम
एक सेकेंड में इतना ही कंप्यूटर कर सकता है. तो हमें भी 10 टू द पावर 8 ऑपरेशन से ज्यादा अपना प्रोग्राम नहीं रखना है. ये बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड है, ठीक है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए.
ये तो सर ये बहुत बड़ा मतलब अमाउंट है.
बहुत बड़ा नंबर है. सबसे पहली बात, इतने में हमारा प्रोग्राम तो आ जाएगा. पहली बात तो ये है. ठीक है.
हाँ
ठीक है.
ठीक है सर.
Fine. Now let's come to a question. Okay. Till here, all of you have understood. Now let's see a problem. Let's suppose a equal to 0 and there is a number n I am taking as input. Now what will happen? Let's run a loop for I in range n. Okay. Let's write a equal to a plus 1. Now let's try calculating how many number of operation we are doing. Okay. See first, a equal to 0. How many operations here? 1. Okay. n is equal to int input. How many operations here? Tell me. Taking input from the console. Taking input from the console. N operations. Who told? I can take input from the console in just one operation. Not required of why n. Am I doing the task n times? Taking an input can be done by the computer in just one operation. Okay. N is the input. Taking the input can be done in just one operation. Okay, fine. Next, for loop. For loop. How many parts the for loop consists of? Can anybody tell me? First, I will be assigned to a initial value. Default value 0. I will be checked with n, whether it is less than n or not. And then what will happen? I will be incremented by 1. Number of jumps, right? Number of jumps by default is 1. So I will be incremented by 1. And for each iteration of I, for each value of I, A will be incremented how many times? By 1, right? A will be incremented by 1 every time. What will happen? A's value is, let's suppose 0. It will be incremented by 1. If it is 1, it will be incremented by 1. Again, it will get to 2. Something like that will happen, right? So yeah, tell me for this operation, how many operations we are doing? A equal to A plus 1. How many operations we are doing? First, A plus 1. This expression will be evaluated and the value will be stored inside A. So we can say 2 operations here, right? 2 operations we are doing. And here, first, I will be assigned a value 0. 1 operation for this. How many times value of I will be checked? Whether I is less than n or not, how many times it will be checked? Tell me. First, when I is at 0, then it will be checked whether it is lesser than n or not. I is at 1, then also it will be checked. I equals 2, then also it will be checked. I equals 3, then also it will be checked. So how many times this checking will be happening? How many times the checking will be happening from 0 to what will be the last value of I? At I, when I will be equal to n, again this will be checked. And then the loop will terminate, right? When value of I becomes n, then the loop will be terminating. But before terminating, this condition will be checked. So this particular thing, I less than n, this comparison takes exactly 1 operation, right? But how many times we are doing the operation? N plus 1 times, correct? So in total, how many comparison we have done? N plus 1 into 1, correct or not? N plus 1 into 1 operations we have done. Why? This thing, I less than n, takes just 1 operation to be done. Start from your 0, 1, 2, from 1 to n, it takes how much? N operations. 0 is extra, n plus 1, right? Right? So I is less than n. This takes just 1 operation, but this, how many times we are performing this? N plus 1 times. So how many operations we performed with the loop? N plus 1 into 1 operations. Now, how many times the value of I will be incremented? How many times? How many times the value will be incremented? I equal to I plus 1. I equal to I plus 1. How many operations do we require to perform this? Let's say first I plus 1 will be evaluated, then will be stored. 2 operations, let's say. 2 operations. How many times we have incremented the value of I? Can you tell me? initially I is 0, then it changes to incremented to 1, then incremented to 2, then incremented to 3 till n. How many increment we have done? How many increments we have done? N times, right? At I equal to n, my loop is terminating, right? So n times I have done, performed the increment part. How many operations we have done here? 2 into n, correct or not? And now, how many times this loop is running? From 0 to n minus 1, correct? So from 0 to n minus 1, this loop is getting executed. So how many times value of a will be incremented? A equal to a plus 1. This takes how many operations? This takes evaluation takes 1, storing takes 1. So as a whole, 2 operations, correct? Now, this 2, how many times we are doing the operation? N times, right? From 0 to n minus 1, value of a will be keep on getting incremented. So how many operation for doing the for updating the value of a? 2 into n. Now calculate the total number of operation we have done. Calculate the total number of operation. Okay, first this assignment of a to 0, 1 operation. Next, taking the input plus 1. Next, I less than comparison. How many times we have compared? N plus 1 operations. Okay. Next, how many times the value of I getting incremented? How many times the value of I is getting incremented? N times. Next, how many times value of a got updated? Sorry, this is 2n, right? This was 2n. Again, number of times a is getting updated 2n times. Total number of operation, how many times? How many we are getting? 5n plus 3. This is the total number of operation we require to execute this program. Yes, Amar, tell me what's the issue?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, how a is equal to a plus 1 will update, because we have not mentioned in anywhere in range. We have just given a is equal to 0.
So why I require means a equal to a plus 1 means why it cannot get updated?
Because a is equal to 0, down direct we have written a is equal to a plus 1, then it will be only 1. So how that I range will update in a? We should write something a is equal to I plus 1 like this, I think.
Is it? What happens when you actually a equal to a plus 1? What I said, how this gets executed? Whatever the current value of a is, to that add 1 and store the new value inside a.
Okay.
Is it?
So each and every time it will run.
Yeah, each and every time this will happen.
Because we have given only once, na, a is equal to a plus 1.
Why once? I have given it inside the loop. See here. This is inside.
But there is range n and I, nowhere a is mentioned.
What is here?
In the loop I'm saying.
So loop, inside the loop, why I want to update a, why shall I give it inside the loop?
Range is, yes, bro, you asked first.
So in 5n plus 3, n is the value that we will pass now.
Yeah, n is the value we will take from the console. We will take that from the input.
Yes. Sir, can you run this code in VS?
Okay, let's run it.
So before it, sir,
So you people are forgetting even the basic running of loop.
no. So actually, if we are getting a for loop, always it will be a 2n, right? If it is in a normal condition.
Coming to that. Just wait. Okay, yeah. Let's run it here. What I've written, a equal to 0. Next, n equal to int input. Fine, done. Next, for I in range n, do what? A equal to a plus 1. At the end, let's print my a. Yeah, let's try printing it. Let me give the value of n to be 5. Is it coming 5?
Yes, sir. Sir, change the a value to something else, like 1.
Then 6 will be printed. Okay, let me give the input 5. Yeah, 6 is coming.
Yes, sir, but the answer should be 15 na.
Why?
5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1.
Am I adding I or am I adding just 1? See here. Am I adding I or am I adding 1 only? Initialized what?
So sir, printing the last stage, sorry.
Yeah, what? Initialized a with 1. Now let I equal to 5. First value of I will be 0. First value of I will be 0. Do what? At whatever is the value inside a is, to that add 0 and store this new value inside a. What will be there? What will be it? 1 only. 1 plus 0 is 1. Next, I equal to 1. For I equal to 1, a is what? A's value is 1. To that I will be adding 1. I will be adding 1. Okay, sorry, I mistake. I mistaken.
Sir, we have given a range in n, then why it is adding in a, sir?
This is my written program. Why will not it add? I want that whatever is my value of a, so I will add n to it.
So if you
Using
will
a
not
loop.
write this range, it will not add. Only in the range it will work, like adding.
Yeah. Yes. What's the problem?
Okay. Okay, that was the doubt.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Now, yeah, let's go there. Let's go back here. And yeah, how many total number of operations we have done? 5n by 3. Okay, this is the number of operations we require to solve our problem. Now, how to represent this in terms of time complexity? What is the representation? All of you are comfortable? All of you are comfortable that yeah,
Yes.
how we are calculating the number of operations?
Yes, sir.
All of you.
Sir, any default syntax for that?
Not the no syntax is there, but a representation is there. How we will represent.
Okay, like you are saying that कि ये कोड है ना order of n में जाएगा.
Yes, yes, आ रहे हैं.
Order
उसी पे आ रहे हैं कि कैसे represent करेंगे.
Okay.
Yeah, Puneet, tell me what's the problem?
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बस सर कंफ्यूजन है.
अच्छा ठीक है, और प्रॉब्लम करेंगे इसके बाद समझ में आएगा धीरे धीरे.
Can
Okay,
you
yeah.
just tell how the 2n is coming? Why 2n?
Which one? Which one? Where the 2n is coming?
This one. A increment.
A equal to a plus 1. This one.
Yeah, yeah.
First, this will be evaluated. A plus 1 to a 1 will be added.
Yeah.
So for that one operation, and whatever is the new value will be stored inside a.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
Now,
for that one,
in a single
one
step,
operation.
2 will happen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay.
Fine. Now see, how do we represent the time complexity? How do we? So there is something called big O notation. Big O notation. Big O notation. Using this, we represent time complexity. Okay, using the big O notation, we represent time complexity. How? Write big O. capital O, inside the brackets, write the number of operations you are doing. Okay. Now see, in the previous problem, how many operations we have done? 5n plus 3. Okay, so how we will represent that big O of 5n plus 3? Done. Now see, this 5, this 3 is what? 3 is a constant. 3 is a constant. I can neglect this. No need to write this. Come down. This gets reduced to 5n. Again, see, 5 is a constant. 5 is what? A constant. Constant getting multiplied with n. No need to write this. Neglect this. We can omit this. No need to write. This getting reduced to big O of n. N is what? Variable. And this variable depends on what input I give. Whatever input I give, the number of operations will vary accordingly, right? If I give value of n to be 5, number of operation will be different. If I give value of n to be 10, number of operation will be different. If I give value of n to be 100, again number of operation will be different. If you give number of n equal to 1000, value of operation will be different. But this 5, see, this 5 and this 3 will never change. Whatever you do, whatever may be the value of n, this 5 and this 3 will never change. So I can simply, in big O notation, cancel this. Means I can leave this thing and can simply safely write my complexity of my program is big O of n. All done? Understand? All the constants you are getting inside your number of operations, you will omit. Whatever variable is, just write that inside your big O notation.
Sir, if the constant is more than 100 or 1000, we can still neglect.
Constant will be hardly something. Yeah, still you can neglect. No problem on that.
Sir, can you repeat this again, please?
What I said, number of operation we have done in previous program is 5n plus 3, right? How do we represent time complexity in big O notation? Write capital O, inside brackets, write the number of operations we have done. This is the constant, can be neglected. This is a constant 5, this can be neglected. So this effectively gets reduces to big O of n. Why we do this? Because if I change the value of n, my number of operation changes. Depends, no? I take n from console. I take the input of n from console.
Sir,
Now, whenever I will be changing this, the number of operations will be changing.
sir,
So
why we neglect constant in time complexity?
this is what I'm telling now. Because number of operation is dependent on n, not on the constants. Whenever you change this n, value of n, what happens? Your number of operations changes. But that is not dependent on what the value of 5 and 3 is. Even if some other constants are there, let's say 7n plus 6. This 7 and 6 are hardly doing anything to change your number of operations. But if you change the value of n, once you change the value of n, surely your number of operations are going to be affected. That's why we keep inside big O notation only n and no constants.
Sir, can you please tell how 5n plus 3 came again, please?
Okay, fine. Let's say let's say my n equal to 5. Let's say my n equal to 5. Now, what is the number of operations I will be having?
5.
5 into 5 plus 3. Correct? Is it? Now, tell me, is this 5 doing anything? 5 and 3? To change the number of operation, to vary my number of operation, what value I have to change? In my control, what value I have to change? Only the value of n, right? 5 and 3 are hardly playing any role here. What will happen? Whatever value of n I will be giving, Simply 5 will be getting added to it along with the 3. That's all. If you change the value of n, your number of operation will change.
5 1 plus 3 is the formula or something?
Number of operations.
Yes, sir.
Number.
How did it came? Can you please show it?
Yeah, sorry.
How did 5n plus 3 came? Can you show it?
Sir, but
I think we have calculated in the
increase
previous.
the number of.
Or if you are writing big of only 5, that means only n means it will return the value only 5, right? Not 28.
No, we never write it big O of n. N equal to 5. In that terms, we never use that. Remember, you cannot simply put a value of n and can say that my algorithm is big O of 5. This is not the way. N is a variable here. Whatever value I will give, n will take that.
Okay.
So I can say the time complexity is big O of n, not big O of 5. Never do that. This is not the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, if constant will consider the operation will increase now. If like, is there only n, the operation will be n. But if we include 5n, the operation will increase now, sir.
But not to
So
a
why?
greater extent. Not to a greater extent. Okay. 1, we consider only those which can have an exponential rise in our number of operation. Let's say 5n plus 3. I give n equal to 10. Then what will happen? It will be 53. Now, if I give n equal to 100, number of operation will be 503. Change the value to 1000. It will be 5003. Your difference is growing exponentially only by changing the value of n. These are hardly playing any role here. For having some exponential rise, you have to see
So,
which
sir,
value I
this
can
n can be even the cube and square. If there will be more loops inside the loop, this
Yeah.
n will be then square and cube. Then
No, I am coming to that. The square and cube, we will take the examples after this. If we put what I said, n is a variable. Now, you can run your particular program. You can run your particular program, let's say 1000 times. You can run your particular program 1000 times. And inside that 1000, my n can vary from any value from 1 to 1000, let's say. Now, what is your time complexity? Can you tell me? Whatever code I am writing, whatever code I have written, inside that code will be running 1000 times. And
You go
each time my value of n will be different. Now, what will be my time complexity?
1 second, sir.
you go answer then
1 second is the time complexity. Who is telling?
you go answer.
N only.
Sir.
N, sir, n, only n.
This will be big O of n.
Yeah.
Okay, because your value of n varies. It's not that I will put any constant and write that. I will put any value 5 here and I will say big O of 5 is my time complexity. This will never happen. Okay, now next what will happen? Now next I will give a value 6. Big O of 6. Second time my complexity is coming big O of 6. But my code is 1 only. How can I have separate time complexities for a single code? So I will take what is the maximum value it can take. Okay. And I have to write it. I have to write it in terms of the variable I have, not any constant. Never do that. So if n is my variable, 5n plus 3 is my number of operation. Simply my time complexity is big O of n. No need to bother anything else. Whatever is my variable, see that whatever it is and big O of n write that. This is what my time complexity is. Why we do that? Because based upon the value of n, my number of operations changes.
So, for example, my input is 10, then the complexity will big O of n.
If it is fixed that only for n equal to 10 your code will run. Okay. If it is, you are fixing that for n equal to 10 only, my code will run.
I am
Now,
giving input, sir. 10.
okay, you have given the code input, but if it is running only once, you can simply say big O of 1 time complexity, I am running it, no problem, because whatever value is coming, this is the constant value. Whenever you get big O of 53, big O of 64, big O of 1, big O of 2, all these things are counted as big O of 1 only. They will not be separate because all the values are constant. Okay. Once you get a variable, know that my code will be running more times and each time my input will be changing. I have to represent in terms of the variable. Now all of you got it? Tell me.
सर समझा नहीं मैं एग्जांपल जैसे n को मैं जो इनपुट ले रहा हूं उसको फॉर लूप में भी यूज कर रहा हूं तो क्या आएगा उसका कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी
n को इनपुट ले रहे हो, फॉर लूप में भी यूज कर रहे हो, फिर से चलो 1 मिनट रुको, देखते हैं। फॉर लूप चलाया, फॉर आई इन क्या कुछ तो होगा ना, कितने देर कितना चलाना चाहता हूँ, कितनी बार?
सर 10 जैसे मैंने इनपुट 10 लिया।
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट क्या करना है? इनसाइड इट
कुछ भी प्रिंट कर दो सर।
प्रिंट आई कर देते हैं। तो सपोज यहाँ पे 10 है, लूप कितनी बार चल रहा है?
सर ये बिग O 1 होगा ना?
ये बिग O ऑफ 1, लूप 10 बार चल रहा है, 10 तो फिक्स्ड नंबर है, 10 is a fixed number. I can safely say big O of 1 is my time complexity because 10 is a constant. Computer won't find any difficulty in running your program in just big O of 1 time. 10 जितना है 20 भी उतना ही है, उसके लिए सब पॉइंट कर जाए, कांस्टेंट हुआ तो big O of 1 हो जा रहा है, उससे ज्यादा कुछ
So
नहीं।
that means whenever we take the value of input n, then it will be big O n. The value
Yeah,
of
nothing
n.
as such, nothing as such. It may be that I am taking n as my input. Okay. Now I just do a calculation, print n into n plus 1 by 2. Now tell
No,
me
not
what.
this, sir. Now we will take 4 in range n. If you take the n as input, then it will be big O n. So
Yes.
that
If I
I'm asking.
say take in range n, then this range n can vary from any value to any value. That's variable thing. So we
Even
write
if you will write a is equal to input for I in range a, that will also be big O n.
for I in range, yeah, that will be then big O of a. If you take a as the input and for I in range a.
But
A
in
is
Python syntax, we define this big O n.
whatever variable I am saying. For in general terms, we say n is our input. That's why we say big
Yes.
O of n is our complexity. But once I am changing the variable, then there is no n inside my program. How can I
Because
say
they
that
will
big O of
ask
n?
the question, inputs will be different. They will ask the time complexity big O n or big O 1. At that time, we will say that na big O n.
Yeah, you can say that. Everybody will understand that. There is no problem.
So, sir, is it safe to say that whenever there is a constant value, it will be always a big of 1, right?
Yes, you can say that. That's a constant value. You can say big O of n, simply big O of n means big O of n, the program is getting executed. But in general, big O of 1 programs are very less. Take that into account. In very less time, very less cases, you will be getting these things.
So if we get any constant, we will consider as 1. Or if you get constant with n, then we remove the
Big O of
constant.
n. Yeah. N you are getting na 10. Now you set the range to 10 to the power 6 and run the code 100 times. Then what's your time complexity? How will you measure? That will be, now I am constant. I am bound to represent my program in terms of n at that moment. That's why we write big O of n. Okay. Not particularly any value. Is this clear? Tell me first. the example that we have taken. And how do we represent the time complexity? What are the doubt you are having? Yeah, बोलो.
जैसे अगर मैं इनपुट में 10:8 दे दिया और आपने बोले कि लिमिट मैक्सिमम
हाँ,
10:8 की है तो क्या होगा?
एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा. बिग O of n है ना, बिग O of n है ना, बिग O of n है, n का वैल्यू में 10⁸ डाल दिया, एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा. इससे ज्यादा दे दिया मैं n का वैल्यू तो प्रोग्राम रुक जाएगा, बोलेगा नहीं नहीं कर सकते. Yes, if our n exceeds the value 10⁸, my time complexity was what? Big O of n. If n exceeds the value of 10⁸, n is greater than that, my program will give time limit exceeded, TLE. Then we have to think in some other terms, some other method, so that our program runs correctly without giving TLE. Okay, because of this time complexity purpose, you get that my value of n varies from 1 to 10⁶. The constraints are for giving you indication that you have to design your algorithm big O of n, big O of 1, big O of log n, what? Based upon the constraints you are given, you have to judge, right? Because of that only your constraints are given. You have seen in HackerRank now that my value of this is in range from 1 to 100, 1 to 1000. Why they are given? To design the algorithm accordingly. That based upon the current constraints, I have to come up with a code that is having good time complexity. This will not give a time limit exceeded. Okay, tell me now, is it clear? Is it clear? All of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Can I erase this?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. You can erase.
Okay, fine. Fine, yeah. Let's go ahead. Now, let's come that, yeah, A equal to 0. Next code, A equal to 0. For I in range. And now let's say, okay, fine. Let me wipe this out first. Fine, taken the input. Now, let's run a program for I in range n. Inside that, another loop for j in range n. Do A equal to A plus 1. Can you judge this for some time? What is happening? How many operations we will require? Think of 2-3 minutes, then I will discuss.
Sir, repeat the question, please.
This is what? Initialized A to 0, n input I have taken. There is a ith outer loop, jth inner loop, and inside the jth loop, I am doing A equal to A plus 1. Okay, now think for 2-3 minutes. Think for 2-3 minutes, then I will discuss. Okay, how many of you tried? What's the answer you are getting?
So I got 6n plus 6.
Okay,
Five
first, yeah, try this assigning value to A. One operation, right? Next, taking input. How much?
1 time, sir.
One operation. Next. Now let's come to the inner loop. How many times the jth loop will run?
Sir, I think 1 time because sir, value is 0. A is 0, sir.
But here it is
Input
n,
is
na?
1.
N.
And
See n here.
1 time, sir.
Why?
Sir, एक ही बार I think sir वो चलना
N
है.
N
square.
times, sir. N times,
N
sir.
square.
Okay.
N into N.
J takes
2n
value.
plus 2.
Okay, just yeah. J takes values how much?
N
How
times,
many
sir.
times?
N times.
0 to n minus 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
J is going from 0 to n minus 1, correct or not? Now,
Sir.
that means this line, this particular line, for each value of n will be incremented by 1. Sorry, for each value of j will be incremented by 1. Whenever this particular loop, jth loop will be running, that amount of time value of a will be increased by 1, correct or not? Correct or not? The number of times jth loop will be running, that amount of time a will be incremented by 1. Okay.
So what
Okay.
about the for I range loop then?
Coming. Okay. Tell me. I equal to 0. I starts at 0. Correct. I starts at 0. For I equal to 0, how many times the value of the jth loop will be running? Tell me. How many times the jth loop will be running?
0 to n minus 1.
0 to n
N.
minus 1. Now I equal to 1. I equal to 1. How many times jth loop will be running? 0 to n minus 1. Correct or wrong? Correct or wrong? For I equal to 1, again jth loop will be running from 0 to n minus 1. Who says correct? Who says wrong? MCQ.
Right, sir.
Right, sir.
Okay. For I equal to 2, again j will be running from 0 to n minus 1. MCQ. True or false?
True, sir.
True, sir.
Okay. So can I say till the time I is becoming, for I equal to n minus 1 is the last value for which j will be running from 0 to n minus 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many
Yes,
times
sir.
j is running? N times for each I, correct?
Yes, sir.
J is running n times for each value of I. True or false?
True, sir.
True. Now see. So how many times my a got, the value of a got increased? What I said, number of times this jth loop will be running, that amount of time value of a will be increased. True or false? Number of times
True.
the jth loop is running, that amount of time a is increased. So how many times j is running? N times for each I. J is running n times for each I. And how many times I is running? N times or not? True or false?
Yes, sir.
So how many times my
True.
jth loop, this j iteration happens? N
N
cross
times
n.
n. Yeah.
N into n. So how many times a is incremented?
N square.
N into n times, right?
Sir,
So
in
what
a
is-
simple way, two loops in n means n into n, right?
Yeah.
Range.
Not always, but yeah, in many cases you will find this. Yeah.
So if the gem changes, it will change also.
Yeah, it may change. It may change. And done this, how many times we have incremented the value of a? N squared times, right? So these are all constants. 1 and 1 are constant. So if I say number of operations I have done is n into n plus 2, I can neglect this. I can simply focus here. N is my variable. What is the term associated with it? So what's my time complexity? I am getting big O of n square. No need to focus on what are the constants I am having.
Sir,
Just
if
focus.
there will be a one more loop after j, then it will be n cube, na?
It may be. If I run it in the similar manner, it will be j cube, n cube. Whatever is the term you are associated, that is associated with n, focus on that. No need to focus on constants. And just this will give you the answer, big O of n square.
This n times n is only for that second for loop, right?
Yeah, second for loop runs n times for each value of I. And that I itself is running n times.
So for the
So for
first for loop, initializing I and everything, that won't count.
So
Sir,
that
second for loop वापस explain करो मेरे को.
okay, second for loop क्या हो रहा है? See here, j is running
Sir.
from 0 to n minus 1, right? From 0 to n minus 1 for each value of I or not. Add them. How many operations we are doing here? N operations, we can say. N times iteration, n operations we are doing here. Okay, for each I am doing some n operations to perform my jth loop. Now, how many times do I perform this jth loop? N times. So my total number of execution is n cross n or n square. समझ आया? All of you got it?
So we discussed like 2n in the previous question.
Yeah,
right?
those
We
are the
only-
things for giving you a bit clarity that how you will take into the account total number of operations. But yeah, what I told you that we can neglect the constants. We
So
can
those
neglect the
2n
constants.
and 2n plus and that increment a plus 1, those things are won't come in this case.
Yeah.
like if two-
Those are the things are constants, right? So that we can neglect. For making you introduce that, we don't usually keep constants in our big O notation. We can neglect that simply so we can focus on what
Okay.
term, what is the maximum term I am getting to calculate my this program. What I am getting, big O of n square.
Yeah, in the first one, if only single loop also, it will be big O of
Big O of n.
only.
That's all.
Yeah. So if two loops, n times n square. Okay.
Why we can write like this? Because we can inside big O notation, we can neglect the constants. Those does not affect my program at all. This is what we know. Okay. Is it clear to everyone how n square is coming? Have some response. All of you.
Now it's clear.
सर एक बार VS कोड में समझा दो.
Okay. Problem क्या हो रहा है पहले बताओ.
Sir,
या बोलो.
sir, in simple way we can say that if there are two n
सर वो
loops are running,
calculate करने में problem हो रहा है.
it will be n square, right, sir?
No, not always. Most of the time you may get it, but not always. This is the case that two loops are there, but this is the complete program is of n
Sir,
square.
if two loops are of n number of time, then in range n, then it will be n square and n cube like this. Na?
Yes, yes. Most of the time you may get like that. Okay. Okay, yeah.
और sir
Let's
इसमें
come here only.
uh,
Yeah, tell me.
exceptional क्या हो सकता है फिर?
Not getting your voice is low.
Sir, I'm saying कि what kind of exceptional we can found in it?
Yeah, we will see examples regarding those also. Okay. What exceptions may come in. Okay, now let's try running this. Let A be 0. Okay, yeah, what's happening?
Sir, Python का 3.10 वर्जन भी आ गया है.
हाँ, बहुत न्यू फीचर्स आएगा उसमें.
बहुत फास्ट चल रहा है सर, मल्टीपल माइक्रो सेकंड्स में वर्क कर रहा है.
देखो 5 का आ रहा है 25 5 स्क्वायर कह सकता हूँ. क्या बोला था? जितनी बार that the amount of time I will be running the jth loop, that amount of time my A will be incremented, right? So if I'm giving value of n to be 5, I'm getting the result to be 25. Why?
So this is printing a square.
Why is it happening? How square is getting? I am just for each j, for each iteration of j, I am just adding 1. So tell me, for j equal to 0 to 4, this will be running, right? Each j, each of the jth loop will be running from 0 to 4, correct or wrong? And for each value of j from 0 to 4, a will be getting added by 1. A will be getting added by 1. How? What will happen? Yes, Junaid, tell me.
So we get n square when the n values is same. But what if we change the n value in the j loop?
Something else will be happening. Here it is n, here it is n. So n square is coming as per this given code. But if we change this, some other thing will be happening. Okay, we'll discuss that also.
Sir, but we are adding a is equal to a
square,
plus
right?
1. Then why this is giving the square, sir? We have
Okay.
given a is equal to a plus 1. Then why this is giving the square?
See, I equal to 0. What is happening? I equal to 0. What is happening? I equal to 0. What will happen? J equal to 0, value of a will be 1. J equal to 1, value of a will be 2. J equal to 2, value of a will be 3. Because for each j, each iteration of j, what will happen? 1 will be added to the value of a. J equal to 3, a will be 4. Now 4, a equal to 5. Now j equal to 5. At j equal to 5, loop of j terminates. What will happen? I will be changing its value to 1. Now tell me what will happen. For I equal to 1, again j will be starting from 0. Value of a increases to 6. At j equal to 1, value of a changes to 7. Similarly, what's the last value at j equal to 4? A equal to 10. And if I go on like this, at I equal to 4, what will happen? What's the last value I will get? A equal to 25. For each.
Sir, how when we got a is equal to 10, then at the end, how about 25?
Okay, see, at the end of each I, at the end of each ith loop, what's the last value I am getting? Last value of a I am getting?
Multiple
A
of
is
5.
getting added by 5. At the end of every ith loop, whatever is my value of a is, 5 will be added to it. That's a guarantee. Now, how many times the ith loop is running? 5 times, right? So initially, my a was 0. 5 times 5 will be added to it. So what's my value? 5 times 5 is getting added to it. So what's the value? 25 or not?
Sir, you are saying in the for I range 5 time added. When we have given the j range also, then also it is 25.
That's what I'm saying now. For each. For this is totally executed. Then what happens? This jth loop adds 5 inside a. How many times j is running?
For
5
first
times.
for line number 88, the value of a is 5.
Sir?
Nothing as such. Yeah, tell me.
So when we fix
I'm
the
saying-
value of n is 5, then it becomes big of 1, right?
Yeah, that time what will happen? You will get a fixed number of operation, 5 cross 5. So this is effectively big O of 1, nothing else.
Okay, sir.
This
Sir,
is
for
very small
line number
value.
88, what we are getting the a value?
Nothing initially till the time it is executed. Till the time I have not come to 88, a is 0 only. Once this,
After 88 line, means
yeah,
we got 88 line. In 88 line, what is the value updated to a?
sorry, repeat again, please.
Sir, on the 88th line, what is the value is getting updated to a?
Nothing. Why at the 88 line value of a will be updated?
Sir, if after 88th line, if you will write a is equal to a plus 1, nothing will get updated.
After, yes, a will be added to 1. A will be increased by 1.
Then what will be the value of a is equal to a plus 1 after 88th line, excluding 89th line?
Here by 1 it will be increasing, nothing else.
Total value I'm
After
asking,
once
sir.
this
5,
is getting
4,
executed and I keep after this a equal to a plus 1, value will be 1 initially. Once this line is getting executed. Now again jth loop will execute, it will come back. Again, whatever value 5 got added after the jth loop, then again 1 will be added, again 5 will be added. Such kind of thing will be carried on.
So sir, it will be always big O of 1 because we will assign some value if we are.
It's not always big O of 1. Once you are running your code again and again, for each time the value of n varies. Can I say any big O of 1 is happening?
If you have given n is equal to 1 or anything, then it will be big of 1.
Value of n is varying. Now value of n, if it changes to 10 to the power 6, this is a large number. This is not less than equal to 100 that I can say, okay, now what's happening is that this is not a very small number that I can say that in just one operation computer can do that. You can keep that in mind that, okay, if the number of operation is less than equal to 100, I can say that safely big O of 1 में काम हो जाएगा. But if it is not, if the number is hugely large, I have to represent that in terms of big O of n. Then it is coming closer to 10 to the power 8. Now something significant is there. Some significant amount of operation will be there. That may lead to the time limit exceed.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
सर वो 89th लाइन को कमेंट करके एक बार वैल्यू प्रिंट ए करो ना, उसके बाद फिर 89th लाइन को समझे.
मैं यहाँ पे समझा ही रहा हूँ कि कैसे लूप काम कर रहा है.
सर मुझे 88 लाइन के बाद क्या आएगा रिजल्ट वो देखना था, उसके बाद फिर 89th.
इसको कमेंट करने को कह रहे हो, इसको ठीक है. रिजल्ट 5 आएगा और क्या. n टाइम्स तो लूप रन कर रहा है.
अभी
n टाइम्स लूप
i का
रन कर
तो
रहा है.
फॉर i इन रेंज समझ गया सर. अभी फॉर j इन रेंज में वो 5 से कैसे आगे वो होगा उसका.
आउटपुट 25 आएगा.
सर प्लीज मुझे एक चीज समझाइए. जो हम जब फॉर j इन रेंज ले रहे हैं तो 5 को 5 टाइम मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं सर. इसमें ये a+1 ये क्या चीज है?
a का वैल्यू फॉर ईच इटरेशन ऑफ j, a को क्या करो 1 से इंक्रीज कर दो. a तो जस्ट एक वेरिएबल है, उसके इनिशियल वैल्यू 0 है. मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, 2 लूप चला रहा हूँ और a को अपडेट कर रहा हूँ 1 से. जस्ट एक
प्लस 1 से 1 अपडेट वैल्यू 1 अपडेट हो रही है या फिर वो लूप अपडेट हो रहा है सर?
तो लूप अपडेट हो रहा है मतलब
a इज इक्वल टू a+1 दिया है, वहां पर 24 आ रहा है तो वो +1 25 ऐसा हो रहा है क्या?
अरे वहां पर a प्रिंट नहीं हो रहा ना भाई. लेकिन
a मैंने क्या बोला, a इक्वल टू a+1. इसका मतलब क्या है, करंट वैल्यू ऑफ a जो भी है उसमें 1 ऐड कर दो. ये जो न्यू वैल्यू आया इसको a में स्टोर कर दो.
ओके.
ये तो बहुत पहले मैंने बताया है. तो ये कितनी बार होगा, n इंटू n टाइम्स होगा. n इंटू n टाइम्स a के अंदर 1 ऐड होगा. दैट्स ऑल, सिंपल.
ओके सर.
ओके फाइन. चलो लेट्स टेक द नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल. Okay, now if I say let's not keep the second loop n but let's keep it to be 10, then what's the expected time complexity? Let's run it. Let's give it 5 again. The answer is 50 now.
Sir, still this will be n only, na time complexity.
Yes.
It will be n plus 10, then it will be n.
What will happen here? Can anybody give the answer of this? What's the expected time complexity of this? Try. 2 minutes. Everyone.
सर n आएगा.
ठीक है. कैसे आएगा?
सर क्योंकि सर यहाँ पे 10 है सर j में.
ओके.
सर बिग O ऑफ 1 आएगा क्या?
n plus 10 आएगा.
ओके
Sir,
देखो
नहीं
n
n
into
into
10
10
आएगा
लिखो n
sir.
plus 10.
j value of j will be going from where to where inside the jth loop. Value of j will vary from 0 to 9. Okay, that means for each value of j from 0 to 9, a will be incremented by 1. Correct or wrong? For
Yes.
each value of j, value of a will be incremented by 1. Initially it was 0. When j is 0, sorry, j is 0, a will be 1, a will be changing to 1. J is 1, updated to 2, j is 2, updated to 3, till 9. It will get updated by to 9 at the end of the jth loop. Now, how many times this jth loop is running? Can you tell me?
Sir, 10 time I think.
Is it?
No, sir, n minus 1
Sir,
times.
11 आएगा
N
ना
times.
sir, n into
Yeah,
11.
0 to
This,
n times.
this entire loop is getting executed how many times?
N
0 to
times.
n minus
n
1.
plus 10.
For
0 to
each value
n.
of I,
N
for
times.
each value of I, j is running
And
10 times, correct? For each value of I equal to 1, j will be running 10 times. I equal to 2, j will be running 10 times. So till I equal to n minus 1, j will be running 10 times. Correct or wrong?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question sir.
Yeah, tell me.
सर जैसे कि सर ये 11 बार नहीं होगा सर, क्योंकि सर 11 में ना बड़ा होगा तो सर है ना वहीं पे रुक जाएगा.
नहीं देखो यहाँ पे 10 एंडिंग पॉइंट 10 दिया हुआ है. एंड पॉइंट इज 10.
10 पे भी नहीं जाएगा वो n minus 1 ही बोला है ना.
ये तो एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं होगा ना.
ओके सर.
ठीक है.
9 पे रुक जाएगा वो.
What's happening? How many times this entire loop, jth loop is getting executed? N into 10 times. Correct or wrong?
Yes. Yes.
So now 10 is a constant, fixed value.
Yeah.
What I can simply say, big O of what? My time complexity is big O of n.
तब भी सर नहीं आएगा.
Done. Fine. It all clear till here?
Yes sir.
Yes sir. सर 10 into n नहीं आ सकता क्या?
हाँ 10 into n लिख तो सकते हो पर कांस्टेंट्स रखते नहीं है. ठीक है.
ओके सर.
ऊपर सर फिर i रेंज में 10 लेना पड़ेगा, j रेंज में n लेना पड़ेगा, तब 10 into
तो
n
भी
आएगा.
बिग O ऑफ n ही आएगा. तो भी बिग O ऑफ n ही आएगा.
हाँ आंसर वो रहेगा बट वो प्रैक्टिकली पूछ रहा है तो.
वो भी सही है.
नहीं अमर भाई वो भी कांस्टेंट है ना 10.
If you take a equal to 1, okay, if a equal to 1, is the complexity varying?
No sir.
No, sir.
Why?
Yes. 0 no, it will add 1 into that value.
So initial value is 1 only. If a equal to 1, what is happening? Inside that 5 into 10, 50 is getting added. Number of operations I have done is n into 10 only. Any problem? The initialized value, initially it is 1, not 0. What's the problem? Number of operations that I have done for each value of I, 10 times this particular loop will be running. Is there any difference here? Initial value of a is different, nothing else. Number of operation is not changing. So again, the time complexity is big O of n only. What I said, number of operations I am doing, observed there, not any kind of initialization that I am doing. That doesn't matter at all. Whether
so
A
this
be
time
10,
complexity is a part of DSA or it is a part of Python and whole?
everything, whatever language you use, whatever libraries you
after
use.
coding, we are learning time complexity. That's why I'm asking.
So whatever libraries you use, whatever further algorithms you will be learning, everything depends on time complexity. That's why time complexity is very necessary part.
Okay.
Without this, you cannot survive. Do remember.
Can you tell me one
How
practical
can we practice
situation?
time complexity, sir?
Okay, in just few more classes, we will be taking with binary search, linear search, and others algorithms, standard algorithms. We will be using those algorithms to solve problems. Okay. And then we will be seeing why my particular problem requires the time complexity concept. Else it will not run at all.
Sir, when we will see the space complexity?
Yeah, along with problems, I will show you the space complexity, not as of now. Space complexity, in the next class, I will introduce you. Along with...
Hello,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, how can we practice this time complexity? Because it's not
Take
like a
various
code that we get.
examples. I will give you CCs, okay, and take various examples from any online source you require. Okay. Yeah, Puneet, tell me.
Yes, sir. As you take the a value of a is 1, so
Yeah.
there will be one more operation, right? As you हिंदी में बोल दो
बोलो
जैसे कि आप जे पे उसको खत्म कर देते हो 50 पे, ओके, तो बाद में तो आप एक को अपडेट कर रहे हो ना 51 को, मतलब
एक को तो इनिशियलाइज ही किया है 1 से। एक का
नहीं,
इनिशियल
but-
वैल्यू 1 है, पहले
नहीं,
0
but-
था।
हाँ बरोबर सर,
हाँ।
बट आप जे खत्म कर दिया आपने, जे का जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी था ऑपरेशन खत्म कर दिया, ओके, वहां पे 50 हो गया उसका वैल्यू, पर लास्ट में भी तो आप a+1 कर रहे हो ना एज वेल एक्चुअली, तो उसका a इज इक्वल टू 50 आया आफ्टर j, ओके, फिर आप उसको +1 कर रहे हो, तो वहां पे ऑपरेशन बढ़ा ना सर या नहीं बढ़ा?
किधर
2 बढ़ना चाहिए, +2 होना चाहिए मतलब।
इधर ना?
हाँ हाँ, वहां पे एक
क्या हो रहा
ऑपरेशन
है
बढ़ा
इधर?
या नहीं बढ़ा, वैसा मेरा क्वेश्चन है।
मतलब कैसे बढ़ रहा है, क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तुम्हें बताओ इधर।
नहीं 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 नहीं
50 से 50 बन जा रहा है ना।
इधर पे क्या हो रहा है कि a का वैल्यू 1 से इंक्रीज हो रहा है और फिर जाके स्टोर हो रहा है a के मेमोरी स्लॉट में। इफेक्टिवली कह सकते हैं 2 ऑपरेशन हो रहा है, पर 2 कंप्यूटर क्या है 1 और 2 में ज्यादा फर्क नहीं करता। 10⁸ वो 1 सेकेंड में एक सेकेंड में एग्जीक्यूट कर सकता है, तो 1 और 2 कितने में कर सकता होगा? ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर टाइम में। तो वैसे जैसे 2, 3, 4, 5 मिले, ये जो कांस्टेंट नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस है, आई कैन से दैट ये ऑलमोस्ट 1 ऑपरेशन के बराबर टाइम है।
a+1 means adding a in a, right?
Whatever is the value of a
value
you
of
are
a.
having, a के अंदर जो भी वैल्यू है उसके अंदर 1 ऐड कर दो, सिंपली, कुछ नहीं है। ये जो ऑपरेशन करते हो ना, ये ऑपरेशन ही 1 सिंगल ऑपरेशन में होता है। सॉरी, ये जो टास्क है इक्वल टू a+1, इसको करने के लिए सिंगल ऑपरेशन लगता है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं लगता कंप्यूटर को। ओके
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन फिर से वही है कि अगर हमें कांस्टेंट वैल्यू दिख रही है तो फिर क्यों वो बिग ऑफ n आ रहा है, क्यों बिग ऑफ 1 क्यों नहीं आ रहा सर?
इसमें
जैसे हमने ये लिखा ना फॉर i in range 10,
या
तो हम इसको एक वैल्यू तो दे रहे हैं कि मतलब इसको 10 बार रन करना है। तो
नेक्स्ट टाइम से के अंदर के लूप में रन कर रहे हैं 10 टाइम्स,
हाँ जी,
और उसके ये 10 टाइम्स जेथ लूप कितनी बार एग्जीक्यूट होगा डिपेंड हो रहा है कि मैं n की वैल्यू क्या देता हूं। ओके, n इज अ वेरिएबल हियर, सो बिग O ऑफ n।
अच्छा सर, अगर हम n की यहाँ पे i में n की जगह कोई वैल्यू डालते हैं, लाइक कांस्टेंट वैल्यू डालते हैं, तो वो फिर बिग ऑफ 1 होता?
तो कांस्टेंट ऑपरेशंस पे आ जाएगा, फिक्स्ड ऑपरेशन हो जाएगा। वेरी तो नहीं कर रहा है ना, क्या हो रहा है, फिक्स्ड नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस हो रहा है। फिर यहीं पे n की जगह
वो 1 होगा
फिक्स्ड
फिर।
n को 5 डाल दो, तो क्या होगा, ऑलवेज 5 × 10 ऑपरेशंस होगा। कोई वेरिंग फैक्टर है यहाँ पे कि हाँ अब वैल्यू चेंज कर सकते हैं? वैल्यू तो चेंज कर ही नहीं सकते अब।
नहीं, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है
ठीक है, हाँ बोलो पुनीत, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं बस सर, हो गया, थैंक यू।
ठीक है, अब देखो, लेट्स गो टू सम अदर, let's go to another example. See here. Okay, let's now do what? Change this jth loop. It will start at 1. Okay, start at 0. Sorry, no. It will start at 1, end at n. J will take the last value n. And now what you want? Let's say number of steps be how much? How much do you want the number of steps?
1 only, sir.
No, let's give some other number of steps now. Let's take
5.
let's take an input k. Let's take an input k now. And now let's give this k as my number of jumps. Now let's try running this. Okay, let's give the input n to be 5, k to be 3. 11 is my output. Now what is happening? What's the time complexity of my this problem? Can you judge? 2-3 minutes. Think, then we will take. What's the time complexity of this? Okay. Any idea? Any idea how to solve this? Okay. See here. Suppose n equal to 7 and k equal to 2. Then how the looping will be work? For I equal to 0, j will be going from where to where? Starting will be at 1. Next, what will be the next value of j? 1 plus 2, 3, right? What will be the next value of j? 3 plus 2, 5. Next, 5 plus 2, 7. Okay, beyond this, anything possible? 7 to 9, the loop will terminate, right? At 9, loop will terminate. Okay, so j goes from 1 to 7, 4 values. Okay, I equal to 1. What will happen? Same, right? J equal to 1, 3, 5, 7. Now, can you tell me what is coming? What this value is getting equal to? How can you represent? This is running 4 times. How can I represent this in terms of n and k? Can I say how many times is it running? It is equal to n divided by k plus 1. Observe. Can I say number of times jth loop is running is equal to n divided by k plus 1? True or false? True or false? Number of times jth loop is running is n divided by k plus 1. Yes, Amar, tell me.
Sir, this will be n number only, na, sir. I in range n and j loop is also in is related
And
to
the number of jumps, k, not
jumps
1.
are
it is k.
also input, na, sir. So it will be n into n. Na.
Coming, but I have a separate variable here, k. K is also an input I am giving from the console. This is not
Then
fixed.
k is also n. That's why.
K is also an who said. K is the
K is
number of
also
jumps.
an input, na.
Yeah.
Input
K,
means we
K.
are talking the n. N is the like the syntax we used to use. Like in
But
this.
here, two separate variables are there. Two separate varying things are there. You have to keep that in mind. Based upon my value of n and k, number of operations will change.
So this will be n into k. Then that will be exactly same to n into n, right?
No. Both n and k are different. Has to be considered into the complexity. Okay. See here. Can I say, first of all, number of times jth loop is running is equal to n divided by k plus 1. How many of you agree here? Another example, if I take n equal to 5, k equal to 3. Suppose for I equal to 0, j will be running from 1 to 1. J starts at 1 and goes to 4. K is 3, 1 plus 4. 4 plus 3, 7. Is it possible? No, right? So 1 and 4. These two values it can take. Can I say number of times the jth loop is running for each value of I is n divided by k plus 1? Can I say?
How, sir? How it is happening?
Observe here. N divided n quotient k. What is the value I am getting here? 5 double division 3. What is the value? 1, right? But here I am getting just an extra value, 1 and 4. So what's the value? 2. Can I say n quotient I will get when I divide n by k plus 1? Similarly here, 7 double division 2. What the value is equal to? It's equal to 3, right? Plus 1, because 4 values are here. 4 values are here. Try with more examples, you will get that exactly this much amount of operation, this much amount of times the jth loop runs for each I. Okay, so how many operations we are doing effectively?
Sir, this is n plus 1 in j loop. Then why this is going to k plus 1?
Sorry?
In the jth loop, it is
Yeah.
n plus 1. Then why it is going to k plus 1?
I am saying how many times the jth loop is running. How many times? It is equal to n divided by k plus 1. This is it.
How, sir, n divided by k plus 1?
Yeah, observe here, 7 divided by 2. What is the quotient you will get? 3. But here jth loop is running 4 times. 1, 3, 5, 7. So this is n divided by k plus 1. This formula is working here. Perfect.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now,
Sir,
how
if
many times?
n is-
Yeah.
Sir, if n is even, then it would be 1 would not be added then.
If n is even,
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, yeah. N is 8. Then to give a value of k.
K should be even 1.
2.
K will be 2. What's happening?
Yeah.
J is running from where to where? 1, 3, 5,
2, 4,
7.
6. Or 1.
1357. Okay, so effectively in case of even, it is going to be n divided by k. This is happening. This is what you want to say, na?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine. So yeah,
So why
let's
here it
come.
is not k plus 1?
Because here in case of even, if the steps is 2, if the steps are even, what's happening is that it's taking n divided by k. The observation is saying that only I can do n divided by k number of times my jth loop will be running. 1357. See here, it will start at 1 and it must end on or before 8, right? This is what it is saying. But yeah, number of steps is 2, so I start at 1. I go to a 3, 5, 7. Here the loop will work wrong. Loop will terminate. Why? Because the next value will be 9. But my ending value should be 8. That's why it can take only 4 values. Okay. So yeah, let's come up with some other formula. Okay, can I say it is n plus 1 divided by k? Is it correct? Is it correct?
Yes.
7 and 3, let's say 7 and 2, let's say 1, 3, 5, 7, 4 values it can take. So 7 plus 1 divided by 2 equal to 8. Sorry, equal to 4. 4 iterations, correct. Now 8 and 2. 8 and 2, if I take 1, 3, 5, 7, again 4 iterations. 8 plus 1 divided by 2. What is the lowest integer value I am getting? 9 divided by 2. What I am getting for this? 4. Both of them are satisfying now. Can I say for each value of I, my jth loop runs exactly n plus 1 divided by k times? Correct or wrong? Just a
Sir, in this code, if any of the input will give, that will be always n plus 1 divided by k only, sir.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
If in this code any input we give, that will always be n plus 1 divided by k.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Now, how many times I'm running the loop? Can you tell me how many times I'm running the loop? N times. The ith loop I am running n times. So how many times my jth loop will be executed? N into n plus 1 divided by k. Simplify this. Simplify this. What is this coming? N square by k plus n by k. Big O of n square by k plus n by k. Am I correct here? Doing correct? Doing correct or wrong? Tell me now. How many times jth loop will be running? N into n plus 1 by k. How many of you say true? How many of you say false?
So then it will be big O of n square plus n divided by k, right?
Yeah. Now see one thing. See, power of n square is greater than n. Power of n square is greater than n. If you give 100, if you take n as 100, this n square will rise to 10 to the power 4, whereas n will remain 100 only. So the exponential rise in n square is greater than n. Whenever you see such case that yeah, n square is there and a lesser power of n is there, neglect this. I can neglect this. So effectively, my time complexity is coming out to be big O of n square by k.
Sir, can you repeat it one more time, please?
What I said, whenever you see that n is a variable, n is what a variable, okay, and 2 powers of the same variable is present inside my program. For calculating my number of my time complexity, two considerations are coming, n square by k and n by k. So this power of n square, see, power of n square is 2, whereas power of n is 1. Since power of n square is 2, I can simply neglect this term. This entire n by k I can neglect. This will not increase that much such that this particular power will be increasing. So keeping this power in mind, I have to say that my particular program runs in big O of n square by k time complexity. Lesser power is there of the same variable, neglect that. Simply, nothing else. Understood, everyone? What's my time? How will I calculate time complexity of this problem?
सर समझ तो आ गया थोड़ा थोड़ा, लेकिन इतना जल्दी कैलकुलेट करना मुश्किल हो रहा है।
बोलो क्या हुआ?
सर आप मेरे को थोड़े से की पॉइंट्स बता सकते हो कि मतलब ये क्वेश्चन,
तुम्हारा आवाज बहुत स्लो है अभिषेक।
या सर मैं कह रहा हूँ आप हमें कुछ की पॉइंट्स बता सकते हो कि ये क्वेश्चन देख के हमें समझ आए कि यहाँ पे इस तरह से इसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं हम।
की पॉइंट्स देखो, ये जो मैंने कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन आज बताया, नेग्लेक्ट कब करना है, कांस्टेंट ऑपरेशन कब देखना, मतलब कांस्टेंट ऑपरेशंस कैसे देखना पड़ता है, ये कुछ की ऑब्जर्वेशंस है। मोर प्रैक्टिस करोगे मोर ज्यादा इस पे क्लैरिटी आएगी क्या हो रहा है। ठीक है, आज जस्ट डे 1 है इसका, थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन रहेगा, बट विथ टाइम ऑल ऑफ यू विल बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग। ओके या और प्रॉब्लम करेंगे, अब तो करना ही है टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, हर प्रॉब्लम का हम लोग कैलकुलेट करेंगे। आज से शुरू हुआ, अब एंड ऑफ द डीएसए तक ये कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला। ठीक, ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिसकी प्रैक्टिस रोज होगी।
तो सर
यस
सर क्लास के बाद थोड़ा इसमें,
हाँ ठीक है, मैं रहूंगा।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू।
ओके, लेट्स टेक द एमसीक्यूज टुडे। ऑल क्लियर, ऑल क्लियर। ओके ठीक है, ओके, गिवन द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन प्लीज ऑल ऑफ यू अटेम्प्ट। Take the MCQs, then I will be showing the question. Okay, Ibrar.
सर सेकंड क्वेश्चन आपने दिए क्या?
दे दिया है.
It's not showing, sir.
I think 14 persons have submitted. Now refresh it once, your page. 14 persons have done it, I guess. Third question even also given. Have you got it?
Yes, sir. Refresh करने के बाद आ गया.
Okay.
सर वो थर्ड वाले आंसर में हमको डायरेक्टली प्रिंट करना है या पूरा वर्जन n-1 जैसा आंसर? हेलो
Sorry. Let's see, last question here.
So actually, what is the second question? So it is order of what?
Just at first, yeah. Which one? Second, third question or third question?
Second one. Since it is a range, having a range, right?
Big O of 10, right? 10 is fixed.
Okay, okay. So that's okay. Yeah.
Sir, can we mount the attendance?
Yeah, just let me do it for you.
Sir, वो in this last question I am having one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, actually in the last question, the question is that these operators like plus, minus and all can all be done in big O one. So we can do this in a range, then it will be false, sir. Only.
But yeah, I said these operations. I mean, these operations can be done in big O of one time. Plus, minus, multiplication,
Sir,
division.
these operations can be done even in big O of n, sir.
But what if I this? Just think, why? How can this be done in big O of n? Can you tell me? Just simple multiplication I want to do.
Loop and nothing is mentioned in the question and simple multiplication.
But yeah, not even loop is mentioned. Not even loop is mentioned. How
Sir,
can you
not
take
even
that
a
a loop is
single
running?
multiplication is mentioned.
These are operations. I today discussed that okay, plus, minus, multiplication, division, all these things can be done in big O of one time.
But we cannot do it in big O of n, these operations.
How can you do?
Sir, if you will put a loop of adding a number in 1
Then-
plus 1 like this, then it will be big O of n. Input will be, if it will be to n is equal to input, and we will put it in range n, then it will be plus 1 like this.
Then what you are doing effectively, you are adding n numbers, not doing that a particular operation of you are adding
But
n
the
numbers.
range will be n, sir. Just now we did in range n, we give the input.
But here I haven't mentioned any that the loops I have given whenever I wanted.
But I am
the loop-
asking that in big O n we can do this or not.
That's a separate question. Firstly,
But
in
we-
big O of n plus minus, we are not doing in big O of n. Simple
I
plus
got it,
minus
sir.
equals
Question
big O
is clear, sir. I'm asking, can we do this in big O of 1?
of n. Big O of 1 it takes
Big
to
of
do the
n,
entire.
big O of n, I'm asking, sorry.
You are particularly asking me whether we how many.
Sir, I'm not
how
asking
many-
this question. My doubt is, can we do this in big O of n?
सर
What?
अटेंडेंस कर सकते हैं क्या सबमिट?
अटेंडेंस कर दिया, देखो तो मार्क करो आप सबको.
ओके ओके.
Yes, sir.
Addition of n numbers, if you want, you can do it in big O of n. That's the
Okay.
rule only. Okay.
So I
That's your
thought
effective
this
lesson.
totally, that's why I wrote it false.
No problem. I think that's clear right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ibrar, show me your screen. Show me your screen. Where have you tried? Show me that. The question.
Sir, just a minute. I will mark that.
Okay, mark your attendance, all of you. Ibrar, here. Ibrar,
Yes, sir. I'm.
okay, show your screen.
करो वाला show.
ठीक है.
మళ్ళీ
Question
మళ్ళా
ఏమో
అదేంటిది
నేనంటే
ఇప్పుడు సబ్జెక్ట్ ఏదో
ये क्वेश्चन था.
दिखाओ क्या है. हाँ ठीक है. राइट द above कोड टू एंटर. अच्छा कुछ भी ट्राई किया, कुछ भी कोड लिखा इसमें?
एक्चुअली मैंने वो ट्राई तो करा था बट वो मैंने अपने लैपटॉप में करा था, ये भाई के लैपटॉप में है अभी. वो मैंने कर तो लिया था बट उसको है ना थोड़ा समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो मैं एक बार देख रहा था आप कैसे समझाते हो, बस वो देखना था.
रिक्वेस्ट देखो तो एक में ये दिया हूँ, रिमोट एक्सेस.
हाँ मैंने कर लिया.
ठीक है तो चलो देखते हैं क्या करेंगे. राइट द above कोड. अच्छा which code is there? Write the above code to enter details of 10 students. Can you show me the code? Where is it?
Sir, roll number, name and
यही था
student
और
ID.
इस यही था सर क्वेश्चन, और इसमें हिंट था फॉर लूप से यूज करना.
सर
अच्छा,
क्वेश्चन
अच्छा।
नंबर 1 था नेम स्टूडेंट और आईडी का, हम रोल नंबर का.
हाँ,
क्वेश्चन
हाँ.
नंबर 2 में हमें 10 लेना था, उसमें सिंगल लेना था.
अच्छा क्लास स्टूडेंट है यही ना?
हाँ सर.
तो ये क्या हो रहा है तुम्हारे यहाँ पे?
वो एक्चुअली
पाइथन ये नहीं है ना? ठीक है रुको मुझे दिखाने दो इधर पे. गिव अप रिमोट कंट्रोल. लेट मी शेयर द स्क्रीन नाउ.
ओके सर.
You can stop sharing. See here. Okay, let's declare a class student. यही ना? Inside that let's keep data लेना है ना?
यस सर।
सो बेटर क्या करते हैं, कंस्ट्रक्टर रख लेते हैं, ठीक है, क्योंकि सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स का डेटा तो अलग होना चाहिए। क्या रखते हैं
Yes, sir.
इसमें, सेल्फ रखेंगे और क्या रखेंगे, बोलो।
सर रोल नंबर नेम, ये दो
रोल
चीज समझ जाएगा, बहुत होगा।
रोल नेम, ओके, दो अभी मैंने डेटा रखा है, ठीक है। क्या करते हैं, सब में एट्रीब्यूट रखते हैं। क्या एट्रीब्यूट रखेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, सेल्फ डॉट रोल इक्वल्स रोल, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट सेल्फ डॉट नेम इक्वल्स नेम कर दिया। चलो फंक्शन डिफाइन, यहाँ पे एक मेथड डिफाइन करते हैं, शो मेथड, ओके। इसमें क्या होगा, प्रिंट सेल्फ डॉट रोल एज वेल एज सेल्फ डॉट नेम, ठीक है। अब क्या करेंगे, मुझे क्या करना है, 10 का क्या लेना है
सर 10
स्टूडेंट्स
बार
का,
लूप, हाँ 10 स्टूडेंट का डाटा लेना है।
फॉर आई इन रेंज 10, 10 स्टूडेंट, 10 बार लूप चलाओ, ठीक है। डेटा में मैं क्या लूंगा, आर वेरिएबल रख लो, आर में मैं रोल का इनपुट ले रहा हूं इंटीजर, और लेट्स से एन में
हम लोग
name,
रेंज को एन रख सकते हैं क्या सर?
एन, फिर एन का इनपुट लेना पड़ेगा बाद में,
ओके, इसके बाद वो एन करेंगे।
ठीक है। n is equal to input, that is the name, okay, yeah, let's not do, let's for more clarity, ठीक है। नाउ क्या करते हैं, स्टूडेंट s, student is s, correct, s is the object, and how will I declare student, class name, and just pass the role and name here, ठीक है। और s डॉट शो उसके बाद कॉल करो, सारा प्रिंट हो जाएगा। चलो ठीक है, मैं रेंज छोटा करके दिखा रहा हूँ, अभी 5 का
सर वो टर्मिनल में हम लोग को पूछेगा क्या, नाम और रोल नंबर?
हाँ टर्मिनल में पूछेगा आप सब कुछ। अभी जो है मैं 5 का दिखा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि 10 तो बहुत बड़ा, बस बहुत ज्यादा इनपुट हो जाएगा यार।
कोई नहीं सर, 3 में भी दिखा दो।
तो भी चलेगा सर,
3 ही दिखाते हैं। चलो चलो प्रोग्राम रन कराते हैं, ठीक है। रन रोल नंबर 1, लेट्स से तुम्हारा नाम देते हैं इब्रार, नंबर 1 दिया, इब्रार दे दिया, ठीक है। लेट्स से ओके, चलो प्रिंट भी हो गया, देखो 1 एंड इब्रार। नेक्स्ट रोल नंबर इज 2 एंड या लेट्स से दैट इज अमर, ओके 2 अमर इज गेटिंग प्रिंटेड, करेक्ट। नेक्स्ट क्या करोगे, 3, लेट्स से अमीनुल का नाम देते हैं, 3 अमीनुल, सारा प्रिंट हो गया।
सर ये एक साथ प्रिंट होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होगा एक के बाद एक प्रिंट हो रहा है।
तब एक काम करो, तब कुछ दूसरा, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, सारे लूप में जैसे इनपुट लेके मैं ऑब्जेक्ट बना रहा हूँ, तुरंत प्रिंट कर दे रहा हूँ। ये जो भी आउटपुट्स है, तो मैं एक लिस्ट के अंदर स्टोर कर सकते
ये
हैं।
फॉर लूप के बाहर प्रिंट करेंगे तो एक साथ नहीं होगा सर?
नहीं होगा, तब तो कोई एक ही प्रिंट होगा, जो लास्ट ऑब्जेक्ट बचा हुआ है वही प्रिंट होगा।
क्योंकि हमने अगर सर 10 इनपुट लिया तो हमें 10 के साथ नाम एक साथ चाहिए, 1 इब्रार, 2 अमर, 3
सर
अमीनुल।
जैसे कि लिस्ट वगैरह में हो।
हाँ लिस्ट बना लो, फिर उसका फिर लिस्ट बना लो, ठीक है। लिस्ट बाहर में एक लिस्ट रख लेते हैं, लिस्ट 1 इक्वल्स, पहले एम्प्टी लिस्ट डिक्लेयर कर देते हैं 2 लिस्ट को, ठीक है। क्या करेंगे फिर, ऑब्जेक्ट तो बना लिया, ऑब्जेक्ट बना लिया, लिस्ट 1 में क्या करो, लिस्ट 1 डॉट अपेंड क्या करो, इसी को कर दो, इसी ऑब्जेक्ट को अपेंड कर दो, चलेगा ना, इसी को अपेंड कर देते हैं, ठीक है। ऑब्जेक्ट बना के ऑब्जेक्ट को लिस्ट 1 के अंदर अपेंड कर देते हैं, नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ लिस्ट 2।
सर बिना लिस्ट बनाए नहीं आएगा वो सीधा? सर
नहीं, तब तो मुश्किल है। ये एक आसान तरीका, फॉर आई इन रेंज क्या करेंगे, लिस्ट, रादर फॉर आई इन लिस्ट 1 क्या करो, प्रिंट, सॉरी डायरेक्ट कॉल करो आई डॉट शो फंक्शन को। ओके लेट्स ट्राई रनिंग दिस नाउ। ओके फर्स्ट क्या देना चाहते हो? 1 अमर, लेट्स से। नेक्स्ट क्या हुआ? ओके ओके यार गलती आ रही है। 1 दिया, अमर दिया। नेक्स्ट 2 इब्रार, ठीक है। 3 अमीनुल, लेट्स से। देखो अब प्रिंट हो रहा है करेक्टली। 1 अमर, 2 इब्रार, 3 अमीनुल, सही आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
after entering, we can edit means append. We have to do means how we have to do.
Create the
Or
object,
update.
okay? Create the
Sir,
object
इसमें
and in
सर सेम में आप रेंज में n लेके बताएंगे क्या एक बार, और n1 लेंगे तो भी चलेगा बाद में इनपुट।
लिस्ट ले रहा हूँ ना, ये लिस्ट 1 है। इसमें मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? इनसाइड द लिस्ट 1 व्हाट आई एम डूइंग, whatever object I am creating, I am pushing that object only. Now access these objects one by one and call the show method. Can you do it now? Access run for I in list 1. This is the list of objects. Now for each object call the show method, and by default it will be printing Amar all the outputs. No issues at all.
सर फॉर I in range n लेके करें बताओ
एक ही
ना एक बार
बात है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। n डिफाइन कर लो इधर। यहाँ पे n रख लो, ठीक है ना, वही करो। 2 रख लेते हैं पहले। 2 इनपुट लिया, फर्स्ट में क्या दिया? 1 अमर दे दिया, 2 इब्रार दे दिया। आ रहा है 1 अमर 2 इब्रार?
यस सर।
नो प्रॉब्लम,
Yes, sir.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
थैंक यू सर, यही मेन था।
Sir, when I want to update anything like this, how we have to update it?
As in what update you want?
After entering the two names, one is Amar and two is Ibran.
Okay.
I want to rename it.
You can do it.
I want to change the name of Amar, in the sense, in the place of Amar, I want to keep another name.
This will be tough because you have to find where Amar is lying inside my list.
This is the input na sir, so how we can change this? It should be if already we describe the name and then only we can change it.
You can do it
So
that
this
for
we are giving the input.
I in list 1. Okay. If I dot what is it? I dot name.
Otherwise, we can give like this roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, and
Yeah.
name we can so on we can give, and we
Yeah.
can change like that. It can possible.
You have to keep then dictionary for that. For which role the particular name is Amar. You have to
Dictionary
check
it is required or
ये
list
शायद
is
से
required?
formatted strings है
List we I think so, sir.
No, list it will
we
be
can
difficult.
check, update all
You
the
have to
things.
search n times. Search n times, and in dictionary you can just search for one. Search for one time for which particular role your Amar is lying.
Sir, run this command now. If
No,
I
I
dot
was
name
asked.
equal to number, then remove that
Okay,
another
if
name.
I dot name equal to Amar, what I can say I dot name. Change it to
Equal
let's
to-
say Aminul.
Okay.
Okay, now after that try printing. Let's see what is happening. Okay, yeah, let's say 2 is my
One. Yes, yes.
1 Amar. Next 2 Ibrar. Okay, what is happening? Sorry, list 1 where I have taken. List 1 here. Okay, now I am not keeping this here. The n input is, yeah, let's keep it.
Sir, even it will work there also.
I, okay, 2 1 Amar 2. Okay, 1 Aminul, 2 Ibrar. Getting it?
Sir,
Search in-
like
Yes, sir.
Search
sir,
inside
I was
the list.
asking,
Yeah.
like in def init self comma roll number and name it is there, na sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Where it is in the yes, just a minute. No, further for in range it is there, down
Yeah.
down list
Yeah.
1 you can roll is equal to, we can give the 1 2 3 directly from there only, na there, not
Yeah.
up.
You
Yes,
can.
it is 106 line.
Yeah.
106 is something it is. Name is equal to there, not
Which line?
106 106
Yeah.
107.
Yes.
Roll number is equal to 1 2 3, we can give the list, and n is equal to name. like Amar and Arun, like that we can
Yeah.
give now.
Yeah.
We can in the list we can update and add also, like append we can use it.
Yeah,
It can possible.
but yeah, it is possible, no problem. But yeah, for then you have to change the constructor. Since
Construction,
you
how we have to write that?
Yeah, change it, make it to default constructor. I will create no parameter inside it, or I will remove the constructor from my class. Then I will, from the inside my ith loop, I will be creating all the what parameters and sorry, all the attributes, and will be assigning them values inside my loop only. You can do that. Try that once. Okay, without any constructor, try that once. But yeah, I will simply prefer this one, having a constructor inside my class. This is easing up my task. I don't need to. Yeah.
In the future we want to update, in the sense that is the easy method, this is the easy method.
Yes, but this takes time. This one, searching all of the list and then updating the value.
Yes. Okay, got it.
Fine. हो गया इब्रार, समझ आया?
Yes sir, समझ गया. Thank you sir.
चलो सही, thank you.
समझ गया सर, थैंक यू.
Thank you sir.
Thank you. कौन है वो? अमीनुल, बोलो क्या हुआ, क्या डाउट है?
ये जो सर टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी जो है ना सर,
बोलो क्या हुआ?
गुड नाइट सर, थैंक यू.
गुड नाइट.
गुड नाइट.
हाँ सर, इसे थोड़ा सा हिंदी में बताइए ना सर.
किसमें? हाँ ठीक है, चलो बताते हैं. कल क्या पढ़ा बताओ?
कल
हाँ मैं बोला था ना, एक बार देख के आना टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, जो कल मैंने पढ़ाया था. और आज क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
आज तो सर टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी सर, और कल तो सर ऑब्जेक्ट और क्लास देखा था सर.
ठीक है, अच्छा बताओ टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, क्या डाउट आ रहा है?
सर एक बार फर्स्ट टाइम से सर बोलिए सर, रिपीट शॉर्ट कार्ड.
क्या बोला था स्टार्टिंग में? ये समझ में आया था ना, प्लस माइनस डिवीजन मल्टीप्लिकेशन.
हाँ
इनके लिए कंप्यूटर वन ऑपरेशन.
हाँ वन ऑपरेशन होता है सर. हाँ
मैक्सिमम कंप्यूटर कितना कर सकता है 1 सेकंड में? 10 to the power 8 ऑपरेशन.
हाँ
तो ठीक है, मैं अब अगर लूप चलाता हूँ n टाइम्स, ओके, n क्या है? इनपुट है, इनपुट लिया है मैंने, मान लो, ठीक है. तो अगर मैं i इन रेंज और एक a मेरे पास वेरिएबल है, इनिशियल वैल्यू 0 है,
एक a का वैल्यू
इनिशियली 0 है, और i इन रेंज n. क्या करो, a को 1 से a में 1 ऐड कर दो.
a में 1 ऐड करो मतलब सर
a का जो वैल्यू है ना, a
यहाँ पे 1 ऐड कर दो.
a इक्वल टू a प्लस 1, दैट मीन्स जो भी a का वैल्यू है उसमें 1 ऐड कर दो. ठीक है, तो बताओ ये एडिशन करने में कितना ऑपरेशन लगेगा?
यहाँ पे a इक्वल टू a प्लस 1.
हाँ, एडिशन करने में कितना ऑपरेशन लग रहा है?
यहाँ पे 2 सर.
2 नहीं, मतलब ठीक है, 2 और 1 बराबर ही है, कोई ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. 2 करने में जितना टाइम लगेगा ना, 1 करने में भी उतना ही टाइम लगेगा कंप्यूटर को, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा उससे ज्यादा.
हाँ लेकिन तो यहाँ पे तो सर एक है तो सर 2 ही सर, यहाँ पे तो 2 ही ऑपरेशन है ना सर.
2 ऑपरेशन कैसे है
जो बताया? हाँ यही a प्लस 1 एक ऑपरेशन है, और
ऑपरेशन है, और एक स्टोरिंग का 2 ऑपरेशन है. ठीक है,
एक ऑपरेशन है.
एक मैटर है, 2 ऑपरेशन करने में कंप्यूटर को जितना टाइम लगता है ना, एक ऑपरेशन करने में भी सिमिलरली टाइम लगता है, ज्यादा नहीं लगता उससे. तो 2 करने में ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता जितना करने में जितना एक को करने में लगता है. तो कह सकते हैं कि ये जो 2 ऑपरेशन है 1 के ही बराबर है, कह सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो ये एक ऑपरेशन जो है मैं कितनी बार कर रहा हूँ देखो तो, एडिशन कितनी बार हो रहा है?
1 बार.
और यहाँ पे लूप कितनी बार चल रहा है?
लूप फॉर i in range n टाइम्स सर.
n टाइम्स. ओके, तो मैं कह सकता हूँ n टाइम्स मेरा एडिशन हो रहा है.
हाँ,
n टाइम्स एडिशन हो रहा है, कह सकता हूँ कितना. तो एडिशन करने में के लिए 1 ऑपरेशन चाहिए, वो 1 ऑपरेशन n टाइम्स हो रहा है, तो टोटल ऑपरेशन कितना हुआ? एडिशन करने के लिए, ये ऐड करने के लिए 1 ऑपरेशन चाहिए, वो कितनी बार कर रहा हूँ? n टाइम्स कर रहा हूँ ना. तो कितना ऑपरेशन किया?
1
n into 1 बोल सकता हूँ।
हाँ
तो मेरा
सर
टाइम
तो
कम्प्लेक्सिटी
मतलब
कितना आ रहा है?
a इक्वल टू a प्लस 1, यहाँ पे ऑपरेशन वो 1 हो रहा है इसलिए n प्लस 1 टाइम हो रहा है ना सर?
नहीं, वन ऑपरेशन लग रहा है ऐड करने में, ये वन ऑपरेशन n टाइम्स हो रहा है।
हाँ
तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशन लग रहा है n into 1। तो ये टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं?
हाँ सर,
बिगो
आप n into 1 कहाँ से सर, n into 1 कहाँ से सर मिला सर?
n टाइम्स लूप चल रहा है ना, लूप चल रहा है 1 n टाइम्स।
हाँ
n टाइम्स वन ऑपरेशन होगा ना हर एक बार। फॉर i इक्वल टू 0 के लिए एक ऑपरेशन होगा, i इक्वल टू 1 के लिए एक ऑपरेशन होगा, हो रहा है ना?
यस सर।
i इक्वल टू n-1 के लिए एक ऑपरेशन होगा।
एक ऑपरेशन है हाँ।
तो इसको मैं क्या कह सकता हूँ, कितनी बार वन ऐड कितनी बार हो रहा है?
1 3 बार सर।
3 बार।
3 टाइम्स यस सर।
देखो i 0 to n-1 तक जाएगा, i 0 से लेके n-1 तक जाएगा। तो कितनी बार एडिशन हो रहा है, कितनी बार वन ऑपरेशन हो रहा है? देखो तो
i 0 से 1 तक,
0 से n-1 तक जाएगा। देखो इधर
0 से n माइनस।
i स्टार्ट कहाँ से होगा? 0 से,
यस सर।
फिर 1 पे जाएगा, फिर 2 पे जाएगा, जाते जाते कहाँ पे? n-1 पे लास्ट जाएगा, राइट? n पे जाके खत्म हो जाएगा।
यस सर। आपने i इक्वल टू n-1 दिया है ना सर?
हाँ, i इक्वल टू n-1।
यस सर।
तो हर एक i के इटरेशन के लिए एक एक ऑपरेशन होगा या नहीं होगा?
होगा यस सर।
तो 1 कितनी बार ऐड हो रहा है? देखो तो 1 कितनी बार ऐड हो रहा है?
और
ये i इक्वल टू 0 के लिए, ये i इक्वल टू 1 के लिए, ये i इक्वल टू n-1 के लिए कितनी बार 1 ऐड हो रहा है?
सर ये जो 1 प्लस उसके बाद अपने डॉट डॉट दिया है सर, इसका मतलब
डॉट है
1
मतलब
to
कि
9
बीच
और
का
भी
जो
है।
वैल्यू है, बीच का जो वैल्यू उसको मतलब स्किप कर दिया और लास्ट का वैल्यू
हाँ।
रिप्रेजेंट किया, स्किप कर दिया, इसका मतलब स्किप कर देना, लिखा नहीं है।
तो सर ये 9 तक जाएगा क्या सर?
क्या?
नहीं सर, इसका
डॉट डॉट
n
मतलब
का
स्किप कर दिया, स्किप कर दिया,
तो
लिखा नहीं है।
n i का वैल्यू तो सर n-1 तक जाएगा
हाँ तो
लास्ट।
तो 1 कितनी बार ऐड हो रहा है?
सर ये सर मैं कैसे काउंट कर सर, किसी हिसाब को कि कितनी बार ऐड हो रहा है सर?
तो ये
One.
n-1 टाइम n टाइम्स अगर लूप चल रहा है, हर लूप में क्या हो रहा है? वन ऑपरेशन हो रहा है ऐड
ऑपरेशन हो
करने
रहा
के
है
लिए।
यस सर।
तो क्या क्या बोलूंगा कि n इंटू 1 ऑपरेशन हो रहा है ना, 1 n टाइम्स ऐड हो रहा है।
यस सर, ये 1 n टाइम ऐड हो रहा है यस सर।
ठीक ठीक। तो नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशन कितना हुआ? n इंटू 1, करेक्ट?
n
मतलब
into
कि
1
n के बराबर। टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी में क्या कहा था, कैसे करते हैं? बिगो इसके अंदर नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशन, तो कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे? बिगो ऑफ n। ये रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, ऐसे लिखते हैं टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी। समझ आया ये वाला एग्जांपल?
बिगो n मतलब सर नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशन n जो
बिगो ऑफ
पैरेंथेसिस के
n,
अंदर
ऐसे
है।
n
हाँ।
ऑपरेशन किया ना टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी में, टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को फिर कैसे लिखेंगे? बिगो और ब्रैकेट में n ऑपरेशन हो रहा है।
हाँ। और सर इसमें सर अपने सर बताया सर n जो है सर n into 1, उसके बाद i equal to 0, i equal to 1, सॉरी j equal to 1 है ना सर? इसमें 1 कितनी बार ऐड हो रहा है ये आपको सर कैसे पता चला कि इतना बार ऐड होगा
तो लूप कितनी बार चल रहा है उतनी बार 1 होगा, उतनी बार 1 ऑपरेशन होगा ना।
लूप
लूप
के
अगर
हिसाब
n
से
टाइम चल
आपने
रहा है, लूप
यस
अगर
सर
n टाइम चल रहा है तो उतनी बार 1 ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कर रहा हूं मैं।
हाँ लूप के हिसाब से आपने उसे काउंट किया कितना बार
हाँ,
चल
लूप
रहा
के
है
हिसाब से काउंट किया।
और लूप सर तो सर ये लूप कौन सा है सर इस लाइन पे सर
यही तो लूप है, फॉर आई इन
फॉर
रेंज है।
इंजेंस एंड एन टाइम है लूप
हाँ, n टाइम्स लूप चल रहा है।
सर इसके कोई ऑनलाइन से तो कोई रिसोर्सेस मिल जाएगा सर कोई एग्जाम
अच्छा,
प्रैक्टिकल
टाइम
करने के लिए
कम्प्लेक्सिटी गिग्स पर गिग्स में पढ़ो।
ठीक है सर प्रैक्टिकल करने से हो जाएगा ना सर
प्रैक्टिस करो, हो जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। एक मिनट, टाइम मैं तो लिंक शेयर किया था शायद, टाइम कम्प्लेक्सिटी इंट्रोडक्शन, मुझे देख लेने दो। अच्छा देखो तो, ये वीडियो देखो तो।
अच्छा आपने कहाँ पे दिया सर अच्छा लिंक है क्या सर आपके पास
लिंक दिया, एक वीडियो का लिंक दिया, देखो। उसको कॉपी तो नहीं कर पाओगे, लिख लो एक जगह।
हाँ सर कॉपी नहीं होता है सर ठीक है सर मैं स्क्रीनशॉट मार दिया सर
ठीक है, गिग्स फॉर गिग्स का वीडियो देख लेना यूट्यूब में एक बार।
ठीक है तो सर
ठीक है, एक बार ये जो वीडियो आज का है उसको रिपीट करके देखो, देखना पड़ेगा। तुम
हो
वीडियो
सकते
देख नहीं रहे, रिवीजन नहीं कर रहे।
कर रहा हूँ लेकिन अब अभी का वीडियो रिवीजन नहीं कर रहा हूँ मतलब पास्ट का जो वीडियो है वो रिवीजन कर रहा हूँ
क्या क्या किया अभी तक?
डायरेक्ट सर फॉर रेंज का जो फंक्शन है सर वही कर रहा हूँ उसके बाद गिट में भी थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम था वो सॉल्व हो गया उसके बाद अभी यही कर रहा हूँ सर इफ एल्स और उसके बाद लूप्स सर टाइम कम मिलता है इसलिए प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा नहीं हो रहा है सर
क्यों? ठीक है, पर प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है।
ठीक है
ऐसे नहीं
सर
हो, ऐसे तुम लेट
हाँ सर
करोगे तो
बोलिए
प्रॉब्लम होगा।
हाँ सर कोशिश कर रहा हूँ सर
कोशिश नहीं करना है, ठीक है, करना है।
ठीक है सर
ठीक है,
ओके सर
ओके, चलो ठीक, गुड नाइट आप सबको।
ओके सर गुड नाइट